Hey, welcome back, everybody. Mark from Rams up here. This is our Saturday morning roundtable, but we're cheating. We flexed. We're recording this on Friday morning. You know, sometimes life just hits you in the face, so we flexed, and I appreciate Scott and Farbod for accommodating this change. How are you doing, Scott? What's going on in Thailand? We got kind of like Thailandish weather here in Southern California this
Yeah.
weekend. Going to be lots of rain.
Oh wow. Yeah, we're coming out of rain here. We've had a couple of sunny days, so everything's great in the land of smiles.
Nice. And Farbode, your life has changed significantly. You have something you wanted to share with the Ramily, right?
I would like to introduce, gentlemen, Ramily, to the newest member of the Ramily. Welcome to the world, Cyrus Caspian Turanian.
All right.
I told him he's a good listener, guys, because I specifically told him to not come. It's Niners week. Don't come during the game. So what did this little guy do? He came Friday night, and we were back home Sunday afternoon, just in time for kickoff, and we beat that Niners ass. Oh, yeah. And
Oh, nice.
guys, he's the good luck charm. So welcome. Say hi to Cyrus.
So we're thinking 2045, second round of the NFL draft. Cyrus Tyranian, cornerback out of Miami, something like that.
I want him to be the next Andrew Luck. He's going to be valedictorian of his high school, first overall pick, quarterback. Love it.
It's funny you mentioned Andrew Luck. Is like that guy is so cool. I heard J.J. Watt on one of the radio shows, and he was talking about quarterbacks he had sacked and quarterbacks that talk a lot. And he said Andrew Luck talks a lot. Andrew Luck talked a whole lot, but it was always like, "Hey, nice hit, buddy," and stuff like. Yeah. I was like, how can you not like that guy? He's pretty cool. So, hey, we're going to get into, we'll take a look back at the 49er game, the big win over the 49ers, and mostly we'll talk about this upcoming Seahawks game, which suddenly, or at this point, maybe the game of the year, right? But some final thoughts on this win over the 49ers, and it's just really sweet to beat these guys and shut them up, at least for some time anyways. You caught the game, Farbode. Any final thoughts? What did you like? Well, probably, you could probably go on for an hour about what you liked about this game, but
Yeah, I could. I think, and Mark, you and Ian have done a great job so far this week, touching on this game all week. So I'll do my best to not regurgitate things you guys have said. That's hard because you pretty much touched on everything. But what I will say is pretty much our offense is complete at this point, I feel. Our biggest knock on this team was that we're focusing too much on one player, Puka Nacua. And when we have all these other weapons, boy, was it a silver lining that guy got hurt, that he missed a few games, that it forced McVay to go into his bag and utilize the whole team, all eligibles, as he likes to say. We're not just keying in on one player. And it's funny because I don't know if you guys noticed. I mean, you did notice, Mark, because you did mention we signed on one of your podcasts. You said we picked up that tight end free agent to our practice squad. Well, I don't know if you guys caught it. It was a joke McVay made because Gary from LA Times commented on that and asked him about it. He goes, "Yeah, Gary, we got another tight end. So what are we going to do? We're going to go 0-5 formation, all tight ends." And not a record, guys. Like instead of 11 personnel, 5 personnel. No running backs, 5 tight ends, because now we have 5 tight ends. But the 13 personnel, love it.
I think that
it's beautiful. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think having the 2 tight ends on the practice squad makes sense if you're really going to commit to going 13 personnel, right? Because if someone gets banged up, all of a sudden you can't go 13 personnel anymore. You got 4 tight ends, but
exactly.
Yeah, it just makes it a little. I mean, you still could, but it just makes it a little dicier. Guys running out there and can't take a breather.
When you have a lot of times teams, including the Rams, have multiple receivers in their practice squad for the exact same reasoning. We use multiple receiver sets. God forbid something happens to those receivers, you got your practice squad you can help elevate. And plus, it's during practice, right? So you need some people to help with, if the starters want to take a break, you got some guy to come in and the scout team, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But
and those
overall,
2 tight.
this was a great game, guys. I mean, I'm so excited for this Seahawks game. You already know where my prediction's going, but I think McVay's finally got, seemingly for now, the Shanahan curse off of his back. Well, we'll never know what the future holds, but we are rocking and rolling, man. Woo! Love it.
Yeah, so we've won. I think we've won 4 of the last 5, and the only loss was that overtime game where we should have won. So, yeah, let's quit this. We own you guys talk. It's kind of rubbish at this point. Scott, anything that stood out for you in this game?
Oh, I think what stood out for me as far as the Rams offense, getting out of the block fast, starting fast on offense, getting the lead with the turnover mixed in there, which helped out. And then they didn't slow down. When it got to be the second half, we've seen them where they kind of, the other team makes adjustments and they fall behind the 8 ball, but they stayed on top of it and kept that 2-touchdown lead throughout most of the game. I thought that was impressive. And on defense, with McCaffrey kind of leading the league in all-purpose yards, I thought it was important that they didn't, keep him somewhat bottled up and not let him hit any home runs or have a monster game, and they did that. And I think that was one of the keys to the victory.
Yeah, it was nice to see them get out to a fast start once again. It seemed to be an MO for this team, either a slow start and then finish strong in the second half or vice versa. Yeah. So, they've been playing 60 minutes of football, especially on offense. So I thought we'd talk about some of our favorite games because there have been some crazy ones, a lot of fun games. I got 4 games I'll bring up here. And Farbod, you can chime in on a game if I missed one. I know Scott sent this one, and it was a 2004 game. And so Scott, just so you know, I know who caught this game-winning touchdown, Mark Bulger, to someone, and it's happens to be one of my quiz questions for tomorrow, or for tomorrow afternoon. So we won't mention his name. You can go ahead and yell it if you want.
Well, I don't know. I'm wrong. I'm going to embarrass myself, but I feel like it's Kevin Curtis.
Nope.
I'm wrong. See, I embarrassed myself.
Do you remember, Scott?
I do.
It was Sean McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So he was Curtis's running mate there for a couple of seasons, I think.
Yeah.
But tell us about this game, Scott. You have a little story to tell.
Yeah, it was the 4th or 5th game of the 2004 season. I was able to go to the game with my good friend, rest in peace, Sal Martinez. We made it there. We were in the minority in Seahawks in the field of 12, so to speak. And Rams were down 24-7 at half. They were down big. We were kind of getting heckled a little bit. Wearing our Rams colors, but second half the Rams came out and Mark Bulger was on fire. He threw an incredible touchdown pass to tight end Manu Maliuna in the end zone in the late 3rd or 4th quarter. He just came out of nowhere from being covered by 2 guys and just came down with the ball. They later kicked a field goal with seconds left to tie it, and then from about 52 yards out, Bulger hit Sean McDonald, who was single covered by a safety, and he just ran it all the way through into the end zone for a game-winning TD. And that was the most emotional Rams over Seahawks victory for me. It was awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Farbod, I just realized I know the game you're thinking of. You're thinking of, I'm pretty sure it was Ryan Fitzpatrick to Kevin Curtis in overtime. And that was a very similar game. We came back. I missed that. Shame on me. I was at a sports bar with my son. It might have been the Titans. And it was a horrible, ugly game. And we left like halfway through the 4th quarter and come to learn that I think it was Fitzpatrick to Curtis, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that was a very similar game. Just a different team, different quarterback, different wide receiver, different opponent. And I have a few games that I brought up here that I'll bring up here, and one of them was, you take your victories where you can get them, and this is during those dark days in 2015. I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was opening day, and I think it was after, I think the Seahawks were the defending Super Bowl champions, and they came to St. Louis, and it was in overtime as well. And I think it might have been 4th and 3. And do they kick the field goal to tie it, or do they go for it? And they went for it. And Michael Brockers and Aaron Donald just stopped Marshawn Lynch cold in his tracks, and the Rams won the game. Do you guys remember that one? That was a fun game.
That really takes me back, Mark, to with our old D line when it was just first round picks throughout. Team Brockers, Donald,
Right,
Quinn.
right.
I miss the mighty Quinn, man. That was one fun guy to watch play on the end with AD. Oh man, those were fun times here and there, way back when.
Yeah, I just remember that being just a hopeful win for the team. That year didn't turn out well, but at the time it was like, wow, we beat the Seahawks, who were a very good team at that time. And another game that I wanted to bring, I call it the Gurley game. You could also call it the Terry Bradshaw game. Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is the Terry Bradshaw. I'll get to that one in a minute. This is the Gurley game, 2017 in Seattle. Talk about shutting down the 12th man. Oh man, Todd Gurley just went off. Remember that play late in the first half where they were just trying to run out the clock, and he just ripped through that defense like they were standing still. I think it was 34-7 at halftime, or 34-0. But that was one of my favorite games. And then the Terry Bradshaw game that I was talking about. Do you guys remember why I call it the Terry Bradshaw game?
I don't recall.
Yeah, there was before the game, Terry Bradshaw, the so-called expert on is it Fox, and he said it's going to take a miracle for the Rams to win this playoff game. I'll bet I think he said he'll bet his best racehorse that Seattle's going to, some silly comment, and then D. Will with the pick six. They're trying to force the ball to DK Metcalf, and that was a fun game. Rams went on to lose the next week though, but they were really banged up. I don't think they had Cooper Kupp, and obviously Goff was banged up with a thumb. But man, just a lot of really good memories against the Seahawks team, and I'm focusing on the wins here, obviously. So that's a little bit of memory lane with the Seahawks there. Rams and Seahawks, really good history.
I'll add something real quick, Mark. Real quick.
Yeah.
I'll just add that in the 23 season, my wife and I went. Week 1 was against Seattle in Seattle, and we went to that game. And actually, lo and behold, I stayed at the same hotel as the Rams did, and I ran into Kobe Turner with him and his family just in the lobby. And it was real quick. I just dapped him up, and I said, "Hey, you go sack the F out of Geno, man." And he goes, "Hell yeah, brother." And what did he do?
Nice.
I'm pretty sure he got a sack, and Kyron had his breakout game, I want to say. That was a great game that we were at. But, there were a lot of bad memories, too. And I know it's a bad memory real quick, guys, but I just remember it was in 2007. It was when we had Gus Frerotte as our quarterback. And we had Steven Jackson in the backfield. We were on the 1-yard line, handed to Steven. He wins. Give Steven Jackson the ball. He can get 1 yard in his sleep. What happens instead? Gus Frerotte botches the snap. He fumbles. Doesn't even get to Steven. Seahawks recover. We lose. I watched that game with one of my best friends was a Seahawks fan at a sports bar, and I was just miserable after that. But that's just a little side misery story.
Yeah, there was also a game fairly recently. Probably one of the most distraught moments for me. Greg Zuerlein missed a field goal late in the game. I think it was in Seattle, and it wasn't a long kick, and would have been a win. I think, and if I remember correctly, that ended up really costing us. It may have kept us out of the playoffs. A missed field goal fairly early in the year, though. But hey, that's just how it goes sometime. A quick update on the injury report. This is the Thursday injury report. Kobe Turner, your guy took Kobe Turner nursing a sore back, so that's not good. And I think Devontae Adams is going to play, even though he's limited. Didn't look like a big. Do either of you have any updates on that? Devontae Adams, I know McVay was insinuating early in the week that, oh man, he's going to play. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yeah, I expect Devontae to 1,000% play, especially given the fact that, McVay did say, even the last game against the Niners, that he could have came back in the game if they needed him. So, hey, man, the guy's in his 30s. Give him a break, his back tightened up. It happens. You guys have been there too, I'm sure, as have I. And he's gotten a week to just kind of take it easy a little bit. Limited practice, that's fine. He's going to be good to go. At least one more touchdown. Let's give him a tutty a week. That's fine. But I'm just a little worried about my guy Kobe. I do hope he's okay. We're not going to be dead in the water. You and Ian touched on it, Mark. We do have a lot of good depth at D tackle, but he's a great guy to have out there. I do hope he's out there.
Yeah, if you're not practicing into Thursday, that's a bad sign, but doesn't mean he's out for sure.
Right.
So the Seahawks injury report, a little more significant. I think Jalen Sundell is out, their center, and wide receiver Torrey Horton, a rookie out of Colorado State. He's a guy we loved. And then Ernest Jones is limited. I think it's going to take a lot to keep him out of this game, and guard Gray Zabel also limited. So by the time you hear or watch this video, we'll have a more clarity on who's out, who's in. But Seahawks a little more banged up than the Rams, I think. And let's see. I'm guessing here who the inactives were going to be. They're going to obviously promote Harrison Mavis. And then, so do you guys, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback on this, but I almost wish they'd keep Joshua Carty active for this game just for kickoffs. But I don't know if they can do that. Because I'm really worried about the kickoffs and handing the Seahawks the ball on the 35 every game. Is there any possibility they would keep Mevis, promote Mevis and still keep Carty active, Scott? Do you think it's even a remote possibility? You can give me a hard no. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't see how they could do that with all the other position groups.
Yeah, man.
A lot for another position group if they were to do that.
I assume you agree, Farbod?
Pretty much. I don't think that's a possibility at all. I think, like Scott said, we need that roster spot for other people.
Yeah. It just appears that Ethan Evans has been incapable of dropping it, on the 10-yard line or so. So I guess we can just expect the Seahawks, hey, if we score a lot, they're going to be starting on the 35 a lot. That's a good trade-off, though. We'll take the scores as long as they're touchdowns. Stetson Bennett. But it seems like the Rams have been flip-flopping DJ Humphries and David Quisenberry as far as inactives, and then Jarquez Hunter and Deshaun. Now, if Kobe Turner can't go, we could see Johnson active, and they'd have to drop off someone else, maybe a wide receiver. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So, Scott, your players to watch, you had Puna and Puka. So talk to me about why.
Yeah, a little bit of little stat review, looking at Pro Football Reference, comparing some statistical categories between the two teams. I tend to try to look for an imbalance to see where there's opportunities for the Rams. And just quickly on defense, the teams are pretty equal. The Seahawks defense is 4th overall in the league. The Rams are 2nd. Seahawks have more sacks. They have 32 versus 27. Pressures are about the same. Here's the one thing where they differ. They've given up 1,123 yards after the catch, where the Rams have only given up 815. So it kind of tells you that they're not tackling very well on the perimeter. So that's why I'm saying, I think I said this same thing against the Jaguars. They were had a similar statistical note there, where I thought that if they could get Nakua the ball in the open flat, he would could probably have a field day. So that's where I'm leaning for an opportunity for the Rams to really exploit that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Mark from Rams Up here. Just a reminder, you can go to mybookie.website/join with Rams Up. Use the Rams Up promo code, up to $500 in bets fully covered first time out. And I have to tell you, the more I think about this weekend, the more I love the Giants +7 at home over the Packers. Packers had a really poor performance, especially offensively against the Eagles. Eagles are a good team. I get it. It was really cold in Green Bay, but that should be to their advantage, right? Now they go to play the Giants, a team that's first time out with an interim coach, and they got some dudes on defense that probably going to be a low scoring game. And I think the Giants, I'm not saying they're going to pull an upset, but take those 7 points. And if you're really feeling it, take them on the money line. But I feel much better about the Giants +7. That's my bet of the week. And hey, I've warned you before, don't take my advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but that's my bet of the week.
And on defense, I think the Seahawks are protecting Darnold pretty well, just like the 49ers protect what's the 49ers quarterback name?
Mac Jones, soon to be Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I mean, people in social media were complaining all week. Oh, they can't get any pressure. It's like, well, 49ers have a short passing game. He doesn't hold the ball longer than 2.25 seconds. It's very difficult to get pressure from the outside on him. I think the Seahawks are similar. The Rams are going to have to get pressure up the middle, and they're going to have to stop the run. And I think this could be the game where Poona Ford really shows up and applies pass pressure on first and second down, because they do pass a lot on early downs.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Aside from Aaron Donald, it seems like we've never really got pressure on 49er quarterbacks. They just do. You're right. They just do a really good job of getting rid of the football. So that didn't really surprise me. Doesn't mean that we're failing in that regard. It just means that they're executing on schedule, and we just got to, short passes, cover it as best we can, and make the tackle. Now, JSN, if they are getting rid of the ball early, hopefully it takes away the opportunity for some deep shots to him. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, and Poona has been, we don't talk about him enough. It's, that's what happens to the interior linemen. They just kind of disappear from from the thought process. And I think he's very quietly having a solid year. Mm-hmm. Now, Farbod, you had 3 guys you wanted to talk about. Take it away.
All right. Well, I'll start off with the MVP here, okay, with Matthew. I know that's a low-hanging fruit. I know that's an easy one to call because he's the quarterback. Of course he's a player to watch every game he is. But hear me out, guys. Okay, we've talked about how equal these teams are essentially on paper. But what differentiates teams when they're so equal? What do you look at generally? You mentioned this, Mark, recently. Head coach, quarterback. All right? We think McVay's the better head coach, of course. But come on. We're talking about Sam Darnold versus Matthew Stafford right now. Who is hot right now? Look, Darnold's doing well, but Stafford, to me, and okay, I'm a little biased, okay, but to me, he's playing on a whole different level, all right? I think Stafford is the player to watch because the comparisons between him and Darnold right now throughout this week are uncanny. And it's going to be up to him to show all these pundits and analysts that, hey, don't put me in the same category as this guy. Let him ball out this game. I expect him to continue to be on fire. All right, I'm not going to say he's going to throw another 4+ touchdown game. Hey, I'll take it. But I'm not necessarily predicting that, But I do think that he is the superior quarterback. I do think that he is going to have one hell of a game against this team. And McVay has said it, this offense is flowing through him right now. Guys, can you disagree with that watching these games right now? He is in absolute command of this offense. And I'm just so excited to see our general this high up, this on it. And he's finally starting off hot. He is hitting all the passes. He's tricking people with his eyes. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. he's my player to watch on offense because he's the general. I think he's going to really, really showcase what's different between him and Sam Darnold, big time.
Yeah. Those are the three things that I talked about. I think at the end of the Keys to Victory segment with Ian, the three things: coach, quarterback, health.
Yes.
And I think the Rams take all three. The health issue maybe slightly, but it's Matthew Stafford is just so elite right now, and the leadership ability he has, the way he carries his team on his shoulders when they need him to, and I have a lot of respect for Sam Darnold, but I don't think he's there yet. I mean, who do you want? With 3 minutes left in the game, and you're down by 5, which one do you want? Who do you want, Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford? And it's kind of a no-brainer. So, yeah, absolutely agree. And you got a couple guys on defense here as well.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm picking two of these guys is, guys, am I wrong to kind of think this? But does this matchup not really remind you of the Vikings game last year?
Yeah.
Why are the Vikings so hot? Look, replace JSN with Justin Jefferson. Sam Darnold. They were hot. And what did we do to them? How did we look against them? How did Sam Darnold look against our front four? So I am expecting, because you guys have mentioned it, look, I mean, the Seahawks line is good. It's not great. Their O-line. So our D-line, though, I think is going to make Darnold see ghosts again. They've faced him twice already. You don't think that's in the back of his mind? Just a part of his mind's a little scared, like, oh, geez, I got to go against these guys again? Man. So I expect to, and this goes especially if Kobe can't go. We're going to see more snaps with Braden if Kobe can't go. So I think between him and Verse, they're a little overdue for a duo big game. This is the game where I think it'll happen because they've tasted the blood in the water with Sam Darnold already. I think they know his tendencies already. They know how to get to him. Yeah, it's a different line. Sure, different team. Okay, but same quarterback. And I think these two guys on that D line, I think they're about to eat big time. I can't wait. Oh.
Yeah, it could be a game, especially if Braden Fisk gets more snaps. Theoretically, he's a little weaker against the run than Kobe Turner. And, I think our biggest concern is the Seahawks passing game, in my opinion. That's what scares me more than the running game. So if Braden Fisk is out there, maybe you're kind of daring them to run the ball, and that could play in our favor.
Yeah, that's the thing, Mark. And you mentioned it earlier, too, because JSN's having a hell of a year. Kudos to him. But what did those amazing deep passes take? You touched on it. It's Sam Darnold needs a little more time to throw those balls. They can't get JSN cannot have a big game if they're dinking and dunking. No way. We'll wrap him up. We'd like to think. The only way he's having a big game if Darnold has time to throw that deep ball. There's no way he's going to have that time. I don't see it. Not with these two guys, not with the rest of our guys out there. Ain't no way.
Yeah. And it'll depend a lot on our strategy as far as how we're playing in the secondary. Who's playing and how they're playing. So there's some unknowns there. I'm sure Chris Shula is cooking something up. This is going to be a really big chess match, especially more so the Rams offense against the Seahawks defense. McVay being the offensive mind and McDonald being the defensive mind, which brings me to my player to watch and talk about low-hanging fruit. I went with Terrance Ferguson, and it's really amazing his yards per catch so far this year. And the reason, and I think both of you have selected Terrance Ferguson as your player to watch in recent weeks. And so now it's my turn to pick Terrance. But I get this newsletter from these gentlemen. It's really good stuff, and I should probably try to get them on sometime. Sean Syed and Tej Seth, and they have a really cool newsletter they put out. And now with the Rams, being the talk of the NFL more or less, as well as the Seahawks in this big game, they had a several paragraphs on this game and how they see it playing out. And they talked a lot about the 13 personnel, and what they're arguing is that one of the things that the 13 personnel does is it dares teams to run 4 cornerbacks out there and more of a heavy alignment, only 4, not 4 cornerbacks, 4 defensive backs. And, and then Terrance Ferguson is one of those tight ends, which really complicates things for defenses, I think, because he can really get vertical and stretch the field. So that's part of the chess match that I'm interested to see. And I think Terrance Ferguson's going to be a big part of this game plan against the Seahawks. And I haven't been doing very good on my players to watch, so hopefully I'm not jinxing Terrance, but he's my player to watch. Do you think that the 13 personnel, we're going to just see more of the same, Scott, this game, or maybe even more 13 personnel? What do you think the overall offensive strategy will be for the Rams in this game?
Oh, I think they're going to keep using it about the same percentage to stress the defenses, put them get an advantage with slower linebackers on the field. I didn't pick any tight end because I just think the whole group is going to probably be successful. Maybe with one having a little bit more production than the other two or three, but that's kind of the way I see it. They'll continue to stress defenses until somebody can show a scheme or a personality.
Right. Yeah, and you run an extra DB out there. I don't know what you do. If they have Nick Namr, I'm going to mess up his name. The rookie Nick, the safety, is a guy that is a bit of a difference maker. Can maybe offset that challenge if he's out there dealing with Terrance Ferguson. That might be what they try. But he's a really good player. The rookie out of, I think it's South Carolina, is it? So
Wari, their first round pick.
Pardon?
Amon Wari, their safety,
right,
in the first round.
Right.
Oh yeah, he'll make a difference. He's I think he's already a starter on their defense. So
yeah,
I guess are they going to add a third safety to combat that 13 personnel?
Yeah, I think Nick might be, if they add a third safety, Nick might be the guy focusing on Terrance. Maybe he's got the size. Yeah, could be. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see. And it's so hard for me to really focus on a game. It's like counting tight ends on the field. It's
because I have Tyler Warren for my fantasy tight end. It's been a blessing, but he's on a bye this week, so I'm like, oh, let me get one of the Rams tight ends, and I'm like, oh, but which one?
Yeah,
it's a complete toss-up. I'm like, I'm not gonna go with any. I went with someone else because I'm like, I'm gonna go with Davis Allen or Terrance Ferguson, and then Colby Parkinson's gonna have a 3-touchdown game, and it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna make that wrong choice, but I'll take it.
And we got such a good mix of tight ends too. I think Terrance is just a very, I dare to call him a unicorn when it comes to tight ends with the skill set he offers, and Davis Allen has really improved his blocking, good receiver. Colby Parkinson, he's a beast in the run game, but he has some hands too. And then Tyler Higbee, kind of your traditional, tight end that the Rams have used for several years, and he's obviously capable. So yeah, a really good group. And like Ian has said over and over, this is one of the best tight end groups he's ever seen. You could get to the fourth guy, could start for a lot of teams. Okay.
Invest so much in the tight end position like we have been, whether it's free agency or the draft. We just keep picking up a new one every year, seemingly, trying to find that guy. And lo and behold, now we have multiple guys. Love it.
Yeah, and I think, at some point, McVay, I think I talked about this as well, McVay realized, my third tight end is better than my third wide receiver at this point, perhaps.
Yeah.
And get your best guys out there. Okay. Predictions. I'll go first because I already shared it. I had the Rams winning 24-23, just under the over-under, which is 48.5, I think. I think it's going to be a really close game. Going to come down to the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, Rams find a way to win. What is your prediction, Scott?
I'm going Rams 27, Seahawks 24.
Yeah, it's every prediction I have seen for this game, not really a big surprise, has both teams in the 20s, and I think that's pretty spot on. I think both these teams can be explosive, but both defenses, Seattle defense is really solid. The Rams defense seems to rise to the occasion at the right moment. Fair enough. And Farbod, what was your prediction?
Oh, big surprise, Mark. All right, hear me out. So, yeah, these are two even teams, but you guys kind of feel the same way about this. I feel like, Shanahan has historically had McVay's number, feels like McVay and this Rams team has pretty much they've had the Seahawks number. I don't buy it, man. I mean, look, I won't be surprised if it's a close game. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not quite there yet to believe it until I see it. So what am I going to predict, right? 34-10 Rams. I'm not afraid of this team, guys. I think we're a superior team. It's going to show. We're playing at home. We got these midnight jerseys. What more could we want going for us in this matchup? I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Rams certainly seem to have, been getting the better of the Seahawks for some time now. And, there's a part of me that does think maybe the Seahawks are getting too much love. If you look at their schedule and the teams they've beat, it's really not that impressive. The Rams, you could kind of say the same about the Rams. But yeah, maybe the Seahawks are a little bit overrated right now. I'm not saying they are, but it's certainly possible. We'll find out Sunday, right? Definitely. But I've seen them. I've seen both these teams number one in some power rankings, and fair enough. I'm not going to split hairs over who should be number one and who should be number two. But if you're right, Farbod, if you go down this roster man for man, the Rams have I wouldn't say significantly better roster, but definitely the better roster overall. And like also you said, man, you got to put a lot of weight on who's got the better quarterback, and that's not up for discussion. So yeah, I agree. 34-10 though. I think, is that what you predicted last week? And you were pretty close last week, weren't you?
Did I predict that last week? Shoot, that must just be on my mind. Yeah, I was pretty close, wasn't I?
I don't know if it was 34-10, but it was, it was a good margin. You had us winning by, I thought.
Yeah. I don't know. I get these gut feelings, guys, and sometimes I'm right with them. Let's hope
this is going to be a fun game, man. It's going to be fun no matter what happens. Hopefully we can pull out a win. Any final thoughts, Scott, before we sign off here?
I just had one more point. Looking at some of the statistical differences, when you look at the Seahawks offense, they've turned the ball over 16 times.
Right.
That are nine lost fumbles, compared to the Rams, only 7 turnovers, 5 of those being fumbles lost. So the difference there is Stafford's 2 picks, but you can see that the Seahawks, they have, if the Rams can put some pressure on him, they have an opportunity to hopefully win the turnover battle. And that stat there is kind of what kind of gives me my score prediction with the Rams coming out on top. I think they're going to have at least 1 turnover that'll spot them the lead to hold on to.
Yeah, another peanut punch. Yeah, I think the Rams 5 fumbles, if I'm not mistaken, 2 for Kyron, 2 for Blake, and 1 for Colby. On that one, Colby's was that catch and immediately got helmet to the ball. I think that's the breakdown. But yeah, we've had overall pretty good ball security, regardless of how a lot of Ram fans feel about Kyron. Overall, the ball security has been pretty good for this team.
Feels like forever we fumbled, It's been a good amount of games since. It seems like they've learned.
Yeah, knock on wood for us, please, there, Farbod. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Farbod?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll just reiterate that I'm not afraid of this team. I think we're going to see more or less the same Sam Darnold that we saw twice last season. We just have to rattle him again, which I do feel like we're very, very much capable of doing. And man, can it just be Sunday already? And it's okay that it's not prime time. It is too bad, but maybe it'll still be the talk of the town after the game's over. We'll see. And if my prediction does come true, maybe we'll finally start getting even more respect nationally that this Rams team is legit, and Stafford can be the runaway MVP versus Drake May being up there with him. That blows my mind because it's Stafford. Come on.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Sam Darnold has probably just had enough of the Rams at this point. We beat him twice last year. We beat him as the 49ers quarterback. That was late in the season. Might have been the season finale. Yeah. The one time he got us, interestingly, was with the Jets, and they came into LA and beat us, upset us, and that was just like what is happening to this football team. One of those games we tend to have once in a while where we just kind of sucked on both sides of the ball. And Sam Darnold and the Jets beat us crazy. But okay, guys, yeah, I feel really good about this game. I'm excited more than anything just to see these two teams, and it's going to be really it's going to tell us a lot about the makeup of both these teams and what to expect the rest of the year. Who is a true Super Bowl contender? Is one of them maybe not so much, or maybe they both play really well, and we'll come out thinking, man, these are. Regardless, you could lose this game and still come away thinking, you're a top 2, 3, 4 team in the NFL. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's nice to see all eyes on the Rams in a game like this on Sunday afternoon. Going to be a lot of people watching. It's going to be some good football, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, guys, out here, thanks for flexing to join me on Friday morning, and we'll try to get back on our regular schedule next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Go Rams.
All right, guys. Okay, thanks a lot. Out here from Rams Up.